Take a moment to feel comfortable. Find a comfortable position. Let your body slowly come into a place of stillness. And if it feels safe, allow your eyes to close or soften your gaze. And begin by taking a slow, steady, deep breath in and a full and easy breath out. Take another breath in and another, and then easy breath out. And let every inhale gently anchor you to this moment. And every exhale, invite a little more ease into your body. And notice how your body feels right now. No need to change anything, just observe. And let your breath create space inside of you, a quiet space where you simply can be. You don't have to figure out anything right now. You don't have to do anything right now. Just notice that you are here and that you are welcome here. And this is a time for you. And if it feels right, place a hand over your heart or center of your chest and feel the warmth, the contact it makes with your hand. And let this small gesture remind you it's a safe place to slow down, and it's okay to turn inwards. And you might begin to sense that within you, that there is this already a quiet knowing, a place of stillness beneath everything you have carried. And let your breath return to its normal rhythm. And as you sit here in stillness, gently open to possibilities. There's something valuable waiting for you today, not to fix, but to understand, not to push, but to gently meet. And when you feel ready, take a slow breath and slowly bring your awareness back to the room, carrying with you this sense of calm, presence, and quiet readiness for whatever you may unfold next. So our session today is it's a follow-up from a previous session. And today it's about beyond letting go, freeing yourself from emotions you don't need to carry. In our last session, we explored how we sometimes carry emotional energy and burdens and form of pain that isn't originally ours, feeling absorbed from other people's or even inherited burdens through a family line. Perhaps you recognize some of those unattached emotions weighing on you. And in this follow-up session today, we will deepen that journey. And this time our focus is on burdens we have picked up during this lifetime, emotional weight absorbed through personal experiences, relationships, or traumas that you have lived through, which are different from generational baggage. And together we will gently examine why parts of us hold on to these emotions, how we can begin to find safety and clarity to set down what we don't need to carry. And we will then follow with an IFS session to experience and follow this. And then later we'll open up for Q&A. Now let's begin by turning inwards, not to fix anything, but to notice what we have been carrying. Some of the emotions you live with are everyday emotions and may not be actually yours. There are that we generally call unattached burdens, which are feelings that you have absorbed from others or from being in overwhelming situations in your life, not by a choice, but by circumstances, or sometimes being in a survival mode. Now, here are some of the common ways that these burdens show up. So traumatic experience. I was working with somebody, and also we have someone here uh, going through a serious car accident. After the accident, she not only carried her own shock, but also a wave of panic, fear, and grief that absorbed from others at the scene. And her system soaked up everything without realizing what she was doing because it was unattached. And that emotional weight stayed on with her long after the physical injuries had healed. And during one of the IFS, quote unquote, hypnosis session, she could actually see it and release the weight of the burden she was carrying from others that were at the scene of the accident. Sometimes we take on caretaking roles. Somebody I worked with, she used to say that I've been carrying my mother's sadness for as long as I can remember. And we also hear it in this group as well. Uh, she was a child who tried to make everything okay at home. Her mother always told her stories of her sadness. And from an age of 4, she became her mother's confidant and carrier of the sadness of her mom. And she did this out of love and duty. And she became the emotional container. And as an adult, she couldn't tell where her sadness ended and her mother's began. Then there is the emotional neglect. Someone once shared with me, I always had this sense that something was wrong with me, but I didn't know why. She actually grew up emotionally unseen. The shame she carried wasn't hers. It was echo of what was missing around her in a family environment. And that unspoken emptiness became emotionally burdened and was lodged in her body. And of course, very intense life event. I was working with this policewoman one time who I supported after she had gone through. Fortunately, she came through to me within 48 hours of an intense emergency response that she had attended. She stayed calm in that moment in the emergency response, but the next day she started to go down and she became drained and she felt very anxious and started to have panic attacks. And when we went into session, she actually said that she had unknowingly carried and picked up the pain, fear, and grief of everyone she tried to save and could not save in the event. And that weight actually didn't belong to her, but it was starting to live inside her. Fortunately, she could get rid of it quickly. But sometimes people carry it for a long, long time. Now, these emotional burdens from our life experiences don't come from weakness. They come from either empathy, love, or sheer necessity. And here's the truth: just because you have been carrying it doesn't mean it's yours to keep. And noticing is the first step. And in that noticing, we begin to reclaim what belongs to us and only us, and gently release what doesn't belong to us. Now, why we hold on to this protective side of us? So let's ask an important question. If what we carry feels so heavy, why is still within me? Often, when we carry emotions that aren't ours, grief, anger, guilt, shame, it's not because we want to suffer, it's because a part of us believes that it has to carry it. We don't hold on to pain for no reason. We hold it because at some point it felt protective, maybe even essential to survive. And let's look at few human and very common reasons we keep to carry what we don't need. Family and identity is a big one. Sometimes the burden of this has been with us for so long that it feels that this is who we are. So one of my clients, she used to say something like, I've always been strong one in the family, the one who holds everything together. For her, letting go of that emotional weight didn't feel like relief. It felt like she's losing her role, her identity. And and the part of her whisper could quietly whisper, if I don't carry this, who am I? And that's how why she was holding on to. And so this is why even when we want to heal, we might find ourselves clinging to what hurts because it gave us sense of who we are, our identity. Believe that it's helping or it's a duty that I have to do. Especially for those of us who are been taking caregiver role, we may carry another's pain, somebody else's pain out of love. I had a client who used to take care of, who had been a caretaker for a long, long time, especially for my mother. And she would say that I have to hold this for them. If I let it go, she will fall apart or even die. And that's not selfishness. It's a kind of inherited compassion. But over time, it becomes confused. Empathy turns into emotional enmeshment. And we forget that we can carry deeply something without absorbing someone else's pain as ours. Fear of unknown, especially safety. So letting go isn't just release, it's stepping into unfamiliar territory. And for many people who have gone through trauma survivors, even feeling well can feel unsafe. I also heard this in our group. Uh, One of the members used to say that everything seems okay. I'm afraid that something will go wrong. And I had somebody that I worked with who carried deep anger after abuse and once said that as long as I'm angry, no one can hurt me again. So that anger was like a shield and not just a feeling. And she used to feel that if she let it go, her system actually feared of exposure, vulnerability, and danger. So a protector would say something like, hold on, stay ready. So it took her time to let it go. Even pain can sometimes feel safer uh, than peace if pain is all you have known. Loyalty and love, this can run deep. If I, so people say something like, if I go stop grieving, does that mean I'm forgetting them? If I stop feeling sadness, am I abandoning someone? So out of loyalty, we may carry pain that isn't ours. And to stay connected to someone we loved or still love, the burden becomes a memorial, even if it is silently hurting. I worked with somebody who lost a boyfriend at the age of 4 years, and was stuck for so many years till we worked to release because she was not getting into another relationship because that meant she will do betrayal and she wanted to be loyal to a bad boyfriend. So if you're still holding on to something, there's always a reason, not because you're broken, but because a part of you believe that this pain is protecting you or someone else. And that part doesn't deserve shame, but actually understanding. And try asking something like, what am I holding on to? And what is it trying to protect me from? This gentle question is a doorway, and we will do it in the session. When we honor a protector's intention, we can actually start to meet the underlying need, maybe for safety, identity, love, loyalty, and we look at it in a new way. And when that need is met, the burden has a choice to no longer stay and let it you be free. Now, we're now more or less in a turning point in a process where it's not of fixing, but of freeing. And what would it mean to stop carrying what is not yours? Not by cutting it off, but by understanding why it stayed and allowing it to go gently. Let me share some of the things that I worked with, and which are live experiences. Somebody I worked we used IFS. What stayed because wasn't safe. It wasn't safe to feel otherwise. And this client of mine always had the calm one, and then discovered deep tension in his gut that was not able to release. And he would say something like, "It is like I'm holding on to something for everyone else." And when we went into a session, a memory surfaced. He was 11 in the middle of his parents' divorce, and he was trying to hold the peace between the two so that they don't break apart. And that tension wasn't in his anxiety; it was that ambient chaos of the household that he absorbed and locked inside of him. And when he asked his protector, "What are you afraid would happen if you let go?" And he would say something like, "They will fall apart." And so when we honored that role, and then the protector showed it that it was tired of continuing holding on to this role, he actually visualized handing that tension not to the parents but to something larger. And in the process, he allowed it to go into air, and the pressure began to unwind. What was taken in through touch, presence, or field. So I worked with somebody using biofield tuning fork, and the woman used to have persistent fatigue and a sense of dense fog in her heart space. As we moved the tuning forks, her space responded, and she started to have lots of tears and started to tremble. And she said, "I can see my sister carrying me in my lap where we were children." And I said nothing, but I took all of it in. And her system had wrapped around the sorrow of decades in the family, especially with her sister. And what we did is we didn't send it back with force. What we did is we actually worked through gentle light that started to come into her. And the image that came was her adult self kneeling before her younger self, which is her sister, at that moment, and said something like, "We don't have to hold it anymore." And her heart opened up, and the fog lifted, and her system just released. This person I was working, who for loyalty reasons was not letting go, she used to say that if I stop grieving, I feel like I'm letting him go. This was her boyfriend at that time. And that grief had settled into her chest like a stone. And then in the session, what she did is she whispered something like, "I carried this on so you wouldn't be forgotten." And then she saw the smile, and the man actually said something like, "You're not forgetting me, you are living." And so what she then did is let it flow away. She imagined actually placing a stone in a river and let the water wash away and release her grief out, and then found her aliveness back. So true release is not about purging pain. It's about respecting the part of you that you have held and offering it a safer job. You don't release because you no longer care. You release because your system is ready to breathe. Even burdens taken in through silence, touch, or love can be returned with reverence. So as we move into our inner work today, I invite you to softly ask inside, is there something here that was never mine that I've been holding on to as if it were? And that question could open the door. So let's go into thinking for yourself. If there is an emotional weight that you have been carrying or continue to carry, even after recognizing it may not be yours, and it feels hard to release or put down. So think about something like that, if there's something like that for you. And the second question is, what would I need internally or externally to feel safe enough to let it go, even if part of me still believes that I should hold on to? So, what would you need? What kind of support, process, resources, so that you can soften the grip? So, think about these two questions. Okay, we will begin. So, just find a comfortable position and let your body gently settle. And if it feels safe, allow your eyes to close and take a slow, full breath in. And with every breath, invite your nervous system to soften, your body to feel safe, and let this breath be a doorway into your inner world. Now imagine a space, real or imagined, that feels warm, grounded, protective. It might be a person, it might be a place, forest, a quiet room, a garden, a field, or it can be an event. And let this space surround you like a gentle container for what is to come. And from within this safe inner space, ask a question. Is there a feeling or an energy or an emotion or a weight that I've been carrying? Something persistent or puzzling, or something that feels not quite like me? It may be something that you have been carrying, a feeling, a belief, or a tension that doesn't feel like yours. Maybe it shows up as guilt, a dread, sorrow, pressure. And now notice as you invite it in or you think about it, where it lives in your body. Just notice where you feel it in your body. And now, with curiosity, compassion, ask this presence or sensation, Are you part of me, or could you be something I took on? Did you come into me at a time I needed to survive something hard? Were you trying to help me? Whatever comes, whether clear or vague, think it is, thank it for showing up. And you might say, I'm not here to get rid of you. I just want to understand. And if you hear some kind of resistance or protective voice or something trying to distract or block, acknowledge it and say, I see you. You're trying to protect me. Thank you. I'm not pushing anything, just witnessing. So ask it to allow you space to go deeper. Now go back to that sensation in your body that you felt and ask with curiosity, would you like me to see you? Would you like me to be in your company? And stay curious and then ask a question. What is your intention for me? What do you want for me? And just acknowledge what you heard and ask, what are you afraid would happen if you didn't hold on to that? And stay curious and still follow up on the fear and ask, what is the biggest fear that you hold within me? And if this part starts to share, offer kindness and ask, since when are you playing this role in me? How old was I when you started to playing this role? And what was going on then? Stay curious. told you an age, and it would have shown you what was going on in your life at the time it took on this role. It may show you a scene, maybe someone's grief, someone's fear, or a time you felt responsible for things too big to hold on. Just stay with it and let it be seen. And if you sense that the burden this part carries does not belong to it or not anymore, ask gently, would you like to set this down? Or is there someone or somewhere you like to return this to with love? Let the part choose. Ask it, where does it hold the burden in the body? I will guide you in the process of releasing. So ask it, where do you hold the burden in the body? So it'll show you where it holds the burden in the body. And ask it, would you be willing to release whatever you're holding on to into water, into fire, into earth, into light, or into air? You don't have to rush it. Stay with it, whatever it's willing to do to release. And simply imagine it releasing it out of the body, either into water, into fire, into earth, into light, into air. If it's not ready to do it, honor that too. And you can say, that's okay, we are not forcing. I'll be back when you're ready. But if it does, allow it to release and take the time. And now, if that young part is ready, let it know that you did so much for so long. I see you now. You don't have to keep holding this. I'm here. You can rest. You're welcome home. And ask it what qualities it would like to invite back that it may have lost due to the burden. What qualities would it like to invite back that it may have lost due to the burden? Ask it to name those qualities. And imagine those qualities coming into every cell of your body right now. Offer a gesture of care, embrace a beam of warmth or your voice, and let this path experience what it needed all along to be seen, understood, and protected. And if you're sensing a shift, lightness, warmth, or even relief, let it grow and let it settle in your body. Take a few breaths and check in. Is there anything left that still wants your attention today? Or is there a sense of completion for now? And if there is still more to process, let your system know that we'll continue another time. I'll be back. I have the recording. I will come back and redo this. This builds trust. And now slowly start to return your awareness into the room and take one deep breath. And you can whisper within yourself, I'm allowed to return what was never mine. I am allowed to come home to myself. I am allowed to return what was never mine. I am allowed to come home to myself. Now take a moment to thank every part that showed up. And when you feel ready, start to come back. Let your heart just stay as open as need to be. And you're back. Uh, we are going to open this, sorry, apologize. I will go back. So we will use whatever time is to go into a biofield, start to put tuning forks into your field, which is 6 feet on either side, and use that as a way to understand what was going on at that time. So we'll start from the time of inception, when you're conceived, till now, and whatever comes up, we will use it to process it. Okay, so here we go. So give me a second. I'm going to start now. So I'm just below your feet, pointing towards your backbone, top of the head, opening the channel. Take a breath. I'm still opening channel below the feet. Yeah, waiting to ground. Yeah, a lot of heaviness to ground. Okay, so better. I'm going to move to the top of the head. Pointing down through your head into your backbone and to open the channel from top of the head up to your feet. So now I'm going to run a pendulum to know which center to work with based on what you're going through. Okay, so asking me to work on your heart. So right, left side of your heart. So this represents losses and connection to mother, or stress in connection to mother. Okay, so I'm going to start on the left side of your heart from the time of conception, and then we'll go inside. Today is asking me to just hold that space. I just want you to feel whatever it comes to you to feel. And just allow it to process through your system. Whatever emotion is coming up, if you feel it in your head, breathe into your head. If you feel it in your chest, breathe into your chest. And with every breath, what you ask it is to melt away. As you hear the tuning fork, allow it to melt away. Whatever it is, whatever emotion comes up for you. Just allow it to melt away. So I'm at the time of your birth. So as you see the newborn you, just bring up whatever comes up for you and wherever you feel it in your body, thinking about you being born. And let this sound help you to melt it away. Breathe into that. Connect to that and let it melt away. So you're looking at yourself being born. Whatever emotion comes up, wherever you feel it in your body, allow it to melt away. Let it express itself to you and then ask it to melt away. You're 5-year-old now, and just notice what comes up for you. Event comes up, a memory comes up, emotion comes up. Connect to that. Breathe into that and allow it to melt away. You're a 16-year-old now. Whatever comes up as a memory, event, something you're going through, just bring it up into your awareness. Notice where you feel it in your body. And with the sound, allow it to melt away. You're 25-year-old now. Or 25 to 6, something like that. Same. Bring to your awareness whatever comes up. Notice how you feel and allow it to melt away. About 5 years ago, so 2000, whatever comes up. Events, things you're going through. Notice what it makes you feel, where you feel it in your body. Allow the sound to melt it away. And on top of your heart, whatever heaviness, anything you hold there, bring it to your awareness. Acknowledge it. And allow the sound to melt it away. We're going to release everything that you brought up today out into the field. Transform into something for the highest good of you. Feel the weight lift out of your chest. Allow it to go. Okay. We are going to start to process. Allow this to process in your system for the next 72 hours. Just put you in a cocoon of 528 hertz. Now take a final moment to settle back into your body and let your breath be soft, natural, and easy. the space around your heart, the ground beneath your body, holding you steady and present. Let your system know it's okay to rest now. What needs to stay, what needs to go has permission to leave. Sense the quiet in your field, and if the tuning has rippled through you now, everything is finding its rightful place. If it feels okay, place a hand on your chest or belly and offer this final affirmation in words. I trust what is shifting. I receive what is true. I return home to myself. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and be back.